Welcome to What's Your Skroove, where we get inside the minds of artists, athletes, creators, and musicians who are out in the world pursuing their passions. Beautiful. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 4 of What's Your Skroove, where we have a long time awaited guest, the Outer Vibe. We have Nick, Lisa, and Noah, 3 of the 5 band members, and we're in there. What are we, in your studio? Is that what we would consider this?
That's right.
So we're in their studio. And I know this isn't going to drop for a couple weeks, but we're actually going to their show tomorrow. These guys are awesome performers, surf disco-esque. Is that the genre you would categorize yourselves in?
Sure.
That's what we've been calling it.
Yeah.
So it's they're a great band, and we're excited to have them on.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about like how the band got started. And, like,
Let's start off with what instruments they play.
Yeah. I guess that would be appropriate.
Go for it.
I'm Noah. I play the drums in the band.
I'm Lisa. I play trumpet, keyboards, ukulele, and I sing backups.
I'm Nick, and I play guitar.
All right, sweet. So, I mean, like, talk a little bit about, like, the inception of the band and how it got started and, like, kind of how you guys met. And I know Noah got involved a little later and sort of that story, if you guys would.
Sure. It's been a long process, a journey of all of us kind of meeting, really centered around the Grand Rapids Community College music program. So all of us sort of are music school kids. Mm-hmm. We went there. We've all went there at one time or another, met through there, whether it was being students there together or one of us being a teacher and the other one being a student or something like that. So,
okay. What time or like what year did you guys actually formally form the Outer Vibe?
The Outer Vibe, the band name, was created for a show. Probably November 2000 would be.
Oh, wow.
So
man.
First rehearsal was November 1st, 2000.
Okay. And where did the Outer Vibe come from?
We had a show. We needed to come up with a name.
Really?
And we just sat there. Yeah, and it was like Tapioca Frog Saddle.
Oh, my God.
And then it was like, should have went with that.
Wow.
But it didn't go with that.
We used to try to come up with good answers for that, like, well, you know, like vibes and
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
And
like a sweet story.
there is.
It just fits.
It's just it fits, and we also like to say that it's a name that we grew into a little bit. Like, I mean, Outer Vibe, the Outer Vibe, like vibe suggests, you know, vibration
Right.
and
Mhm,
music
mhm.
and things
Yeah,
sure.
and good vibes and stuff.
For sure.
And then yeah, we've always been a little bit weird, a little bit different. So we're just kind of out there.
Hey, that's good.
Weird is good.
We tried to make something that would never pigeonhole us.
Right, yeah,
So
for
people are
sure.
like, what is that? And we're like, I don't know. You'll have to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we get asked that a
You
lot about
decide.
Skroove. Like, what is
Yeah,
that? What is? And,
exactly.
and I think what you said is really appropriate. Like, you grow into the name, and like, it kind of develops with you. And I think that name does you guys a lot of justice. Like, it describes kind of your music and all your personalities and your performance and your showmanship. And
Yeah, and definitely the vibe just of the band, the surf disco, which I think is an awesome name. I mean, that's how I remembered you guys.
yeah, tell them about that.
When we first met Noah. So yeah, I guess a little backstory. We got in touch with the Outer Vibe with you guys because we were doing a
It's a street longboarding
Yeah, that's
competition, right?
yeah, we were vendors, and this was back when we were
Memory.
like serendipity, like 2015, I want to say.
Right, it's different names.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's crazy.
So like me and Tyler are out there, and Noah like rolls up. Pretty sure he had like a leather jacket on because you rode your motorcycle down there.
Is that accurate?
Yeah,
That's definitely sounds familiar.
And he goes like, "Oh, just struck up a conversation with us." And you gave us a flyer, and you're like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, yeah, what kind of music?" You're like, "Surf disco." I was like, "Oh, cool." And then didn't really think much of it. And then like that was like summertime.
Yeah.
6 months later, I remember just sitting in my room, and be like, "Oh, there's that one kid I met at like the longboard competition." Because I was like, I wanted some new music to listen to, and I was like, all I remember was surf disco. I was like, a surf disco Michigan band. Googled you guys, and you're like, obviously the only band that pops up for surf disco.
That's wild. Like, he was able to find you through
I literally
that.
typed in like Michigan surf disco band, and I was like, "Oh, dude, that was the kid I met. That was the kid." So
There's no like.
yeah. So I just messaged you, like friended you on Facebook. Was like, "Dude, hey, you know, I'd love to come out to one of your shows, give you like a hat and hang out," and came out to the
Dude,
Bells.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And the swag came, and you got us hooked from there.
Yeah,
and we're
man.
Skroovers from that day.
Day one.
You
So
pretty much have the whole band repping. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
we got, like, the best collection of T-shirts.
Yeah, dude.
appreciate that.
And then we love, like, now and then we'll see pictures of you guys doing like little recording sessions or different things, and we're like, oh, they got
Yeah.
Skroove.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
And then from there, we just kind of came to you guys' shows and built a little bit of a relationship. And
sure.
yeah, now whenever they're in Michigan, we try and
Try
come
and
out
catch 'em.
come out and see them.
So you guys got to see the Outer Vibe perform because, you know, you can listen to a band and you can like their music, and then like honestly, like people go to see a concert and see a band they like, and you know this goes for anything, and either one of two things happens: they're disappointed or they're very well enthused. Like seriously, like, you have an artist that you've always wanted to see, and they're either a great performer or there's somebody that you know you just like to listen to, maybe you know not in concert. And these guys are absolute performers. The stage presence is so well felt, and like I mean that. I've been to a lot of concerts. I mean, like we saw you guys open for the Dirty Heads, and I was like, I slowed down. When nothing against the Dirty Heads, but like when they came on, like I was like, all right, and like I chilled out. But like when you guys opened for them, I was like fired up, and like your stage presence is like absolutely there. And
Great showman.
I mean, absolutely great showman. So you guys got to see these guys perform if you get the chance.
We're hyper. We drink a lot of coffee.
So do we.
Dawn Patrol Coffee by
Cheers.
Skroove.
Yeah, there's something about the magic that happens at a live show. You know, we try to put moments in our set that are unscripted. We try to have periods of time that are, and then what's going to happen here? Well, we're not exactly sure. Whatever happens that day happens that day, and we like to leave those moments open to just you know, improvisation and also just letting the magic happen. You know, new things.
I think that's really important. Yeah, like so I love your guys' show. I'm stoked for tomorrow. So like talk about maybe a little bit. You guys obviously do a lot of singles, and I think all of them are great. So like, how does that come about? How do you decide? Like I kind of got the message, like the Fiona one. Like I thought that was cool. Like, I love that song. I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, but like, how do you come about? Like you said, you guys have a lot of songs in the works. How do you decide? Okay, what's something we're gonna record and bring to life?
Yeah, like usually there are stories from the road, stories from our lives. We usually try to keep them somewhat realistic, like something that actually applies to us, rather than, you know, do some sort of fantasy song like Paul McCartney or something like that. I mean, no beef against Paul McCartney. He writes great songs, but most of our songs have to do directly with our lives. Like the Fiona song was about us being on the road and meeting a fan and needing a place to stay, and we went and, you know, we're gonna crash on her couch, and then she goes from one person in the band to the next and asks if they're, you know, interested in going to bed with her, and just the sort of funny things that we see on the road.
When I
these
first heard
days.
that song, I'm like, oh my god, that's great.
And yeah.
So like your guys' stuff, like you're saying, it's super relatable too. So like you guys make relatable music, and it's real, and it's like transparent. Like you said, each song is linked to something to an extent. So
And, you know, sometimes with the timing of what song we're releasing, you know, we released a song like last year called Why Don't You Listen? And it was sort of more of a
Well, I mean, it started out like its inception was about a relationship. Like feeling like you can't be heard by somebody, or like maybe people just don't listen to you, and you want to get through to them but you can't. And you know, even though we wrote it about a relationship, at the time we released it after last November, we were like, I think there might be a lot of people around here who right now feel like they don't have a voice.
a bigger picture sort of thing.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Kinda,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, we chose out of the 4 singles on the Surf Disco Compacto EP, which was our first Nashville project. We decided to release that one first. I think that was Noah's idea. It's like, it seems like the timing would be pretty good because,
it was starting to get cold. There were current events going on that were sort of stressful for a lot of people, I think. And another one of the songs we were thinking of releasing was sort of like a bubblegum pop song, and we were like, well, let's go with the one that's a little more angsty for the timing. You know?
Seasonal affective disorders kicking in.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're always writing every day. You know, everybody's always coming up with ideas, and usually, you know, if everybody unanimously feels strongly about a song idea or a single, it's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go record it. Let's finish it. So, you know, you can't fight 5 people that feel good about an idea.
Right, yeah, for sure.
You know, sometimes we'll write something. It's like, meh, it's pretty good.
Right.
Might be fun live.
Yeah.
We'll try it out. But
Yeah.
You know when you know kind of thing.
Is that something you guys do? You have a song and you're kind of on the edge about it. You perform it in a couple of concerts and kind of see the reception from the crowd and the audience.
Yeah, sometimes, or almost always, we'll bring a song to the live setting before we do a recording of the song, and sometimes they'll even go through huge changes after that. Like for example, we have a video of us performing the song "Dreamland" in Nebraska, and we did it during the solar eclipse. If you guys
Yeah.
That
we
was-
did
okay,
see
that was
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and since then that song has gone through a lot of changes, and so now we have a video of a version of the song that may not be the final version of the song, and it's like that's actually though how you realize what the song has and what it's lacking. So
yeah, it's basically like they go through drafts.
Right.
So the Dreamland during the eclipse was draft 1. We wrote it the week.
Old.
Yeah, it was literally we wrote it in our friend's
my
garage.
God.
We were like, oh, this seems like it'd be a cool thing to play during the eclipse, like the mood and everything.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be pretty cool. And then you decide maybe we could probably make the song stronger. So it's gone through, yeah, like Noah said, a lot of changes, and it might not still be the final version yet. But sometimes you go through a lot of steps to make a song as good as it can be. You really want to put your best foot forward. So
did you guys write that song and then like, oh, let's make this during the eclipse, or was the eclipse kind of like already an idea? The eclipse video.
We wrote the song. We set up in our friend's garage in the middle of a tour. We had some time off, and so we decided to let's get some song ideas out. So we set up in their garage and did a bunch of demos, basically just like wrote some songs, got the first draft out of like 15 songs or something like that. And then Dreamland was one that we all felt pretty good about, and it took shape pretty nicely. So we just said, let's try it. Let's do it during the eclipse.
It was awesome.
We're gonna do Shining Like a Diamond. I think we were considering that one because we thought that might be kind of cool.
Right.
The right mood maybe, but then like that song already has a video. It's like a couple years old. Maybe we should just try something new. Put out some new stuff for the YouTube fans out there.
Gotcha.
yeah, keeping things fresh is really important for us to deliver an effective performance. We are always probably more excited about the new songs and doing something that's brand new. So
nice little segue. Like, so how does a song get a music video? How do you guys decide that? And like for the story of the music video, is that like predetermined? Like, all right, this is what we wrote the song about. Let's make the music video exactly about it, or take a different turn.
A song gets a music video, like definitely when there's a sponsor.
Okay,
That's one thing.
Gotcha.
But no. Yeah, like a music video for a song can come from. I mean, we've done. If there's sometimes like people we unanimously have like a concept or an idea visually that makes sense, or we oftentimes might have a song and we just go, well, what do we want to do? Like some of the videos we've made just have no bearing on the actual message at all.
Yeah.
And then some of them might be quite literal.
Okay.
And some of them have been like, a lot of time and energy and money put into it and a huge crew of people. And other ones were like, the budget was a case of beer, pizza.
Sometimes those are the best ones.
We've had some videos that we liked, we really enjoyed making and watching. And it's tough to say if a video, there's a balance. Like, is this a big creative story and does it have as much into it as the song creatively? Or is the video just going to show us like us just actually some genuine sentiment? Like, are we just happy in this? Well, then let's just have a good time. Is the video just us having a good time? Or is the video just us, goofing around? Or is the video supposed to be us being serious?
Right.
Or is there actually like a script and all that sort of
message to it? Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite?
A lot of times it seems like we're best at being ourselves.
yeah. So for some reason, I guess to me, I can answer personally, but for some reason, the Waits for Me video is really just us.
Yeah.
It's exactly who we are. We didn't change anything about ourselves. Do some image of some fancy people.
Right.
It's just us hanging out on the
real.
beach doing what we actually do. So that
was the video that had the budget of
Pizza,
beer,
beer.
and
lose with that, right?
and some rum.
Of course, rum.
But then the Shining video is also us being us, but it's like us performing.
Sure.
Right, and
It's
that's
like
a
us.
big kind of big. I feel like it was a big production.
That was a bigger
yeah.
production, yeah. But it's kind of us being us at work,
Yeah. Okay.
as opposed to us being us on the beach, with beer and pizza.
In our studio.
Yeah.
behind the scenes
So
type
it's
thing.
kind of like there's a lot of sides to people.
And that's sweet. And that's cool just to put out
Professional.
that different variety of content and just see what works the best too.
See what people respond to.
Like, should we spend this much money on an awesome music video, or can we get almost the same effect from a case of beer and a box of pizza?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And coming up with music video ideas also, that's like a good question. We are a band, we play instruments and stuff, but sometimes it feels like we're more of like an idea company. Like we just sort of sit around the table and throw silly ideas at each other, especially when it comes time to make a music video. Somebody will come in like, oh, we should, cover somebody with feathers and chocolate syrup. And then somebody else will have a worse idea. And then eventually we'll get to the one that's like, that might actually be doable. And then we'll just do that.
That's cool. So like because you mentioned like sponsors and stuff. So like the Hoka Hey one, is that you guys had like the Harleys and stuff? So didn't somebody sponsor
Yeah,
that?
Harley helped us out.
Really?
Grand Rapids Harley Davidson.
Because that was a cool video.
So they were all the bikes were on loan from them and that sort of thing. Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
I enjoyed that.
Which was smart on their part because a couple years later I bought a Harley.
Got you hooked.
And we also had some support from Arcadia.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I saw
Yep.
like the beer in there. So that's cool.
Yep, lots of good Michigan beers around
Yeah,
here
for sure.
so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you guys are on Tennessee now. What's the craft beer scene like down there? Is it weak? Are we not allowed to say?
No, it's
Decent.
It's not
they're,
Michigan.
they're more whiskey people.
Yeah, whiskey moonshine.
Okay.
I honestly have somehow managed to not try hardly any Nashville craft beers. I mean, maybe the trend hasn't gotten there yet. I
Really?
mean, here it's like so prevalent. You're
Right.
gonna have a craft.
You guys are
beer
in like Beer
eventually,
City, USA in Grand Rapids. So
Are there craft like whiskey distilleries down there, or is
Oh,
it
yeah.
mainly the big players? Really?
There's big one. There's craft. There's Jack Daniels, right, of course.
Moonshine. Then you guys
Oh yeah, there's some moonshine there.
Oh yeah.
on a trip.
They have Yazoo, which is like a big. That's kind of like the founders of Nashville.
oh, is that
They're, but
big?
it's the
craft
founders of
beer.
Nashville,
Right.
But then there's like founders is in Nashville.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're from a pretty after touring a lot the last couple years, we realized that we're from a pretty special place in the world when it comes to beer.
You see? Do you see Founders at a lot of the bars you guys go
It's
to?
all over.
No
Is
kidding.
it?
Founders is
That's cool.
There's
Growing up.
Founders
it?
is like as prevalent in a lot of bars as Budweiser.
Wow.
I mean, they have all day IPA.
Is that what like the
I
main
would
thing
say
That
that's
is
is? there?
everywhere.
Figure.
Yeah,
That
that
would
is
make sense.
everywhere.
Or like a Two-Hearted maybe.
Yeah,
that-
that's
Bells.
Or Bells.
That's
that is
everywhere.
Bells,
Those
yeah.
guys really have blown up too. That's in
Yeah.
a lot of places too. Yeah.
So what like touring? I mean, I'm sure like you know how many young kids have like band or dreams of like touring as a band and like so what's I mean, you guys got the van, which I don't know if you want to talk about that or just the whole touring experience. I think people would be really interested to hear that dynamic.
You mean Vanaken Skywalker?
Yes,
name.
which we love that
Still,
name.
it's better than our band.
Well, I don't know if you can see the really cool carpet in the shot, but the van has the same carpet
Oh,
in it. Touring's great. I mean, it's I guess everybody's got a part of their job that like I see other people, I have friends my age and I'm like, I don't know how they do what they do. And then I realize they probably say the same thing about me because we tour, with a caravan of people, anywhere from the 5 of the band members, just us, to a crew of maybe 8 or 9 people.
Oh, wow.
So it's busy. There's a lot of sleeping on floors and crashing people's houses that we've never met. And you guys probably kind of know what that
Yeah, oh, yeah.
lifestyle is
Surfing.
like.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. So
Yeah.
it's fun. It's all part of the job. I mean, I don't even think about it, to be
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
And
It's
then
part of the journey. It's fun.
it is. It is fun. Meeting new people is like the highlight of what we get to do.
Mm-hmm.
Making friends all over the country, and then the best part is we make the rounds again, and then we go see them.
Right.
We go see everybody, and
So do you guys reach out to people as you're traveling? Like, how do you do that?
depends on the city.
Okay.
Sometimes we go somewhere and we have friends or family.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the guys have family members all over the place, which is helpful. And then sometimes we don't know anybody, and so we'll get on stage and be like,
Oh, really?
we're looking for a place to stay
No
tonight.
way.
That night?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and you
really
know what?
That
cool.
is rad.
Guess what?
That does not surprise me.
You know what? She was the more innocent person in the crowd. It was a busy night and a lot of drunk people. And then the other offer that we had for a place to crash was a guy named Bob who didn't actually have a bathroom. He was like,
What is a bathroom?
maybe a hole.
Did he tell you that? Like,
Yeah, it was like he offered up a warehouse space or something. He was like, yeah, you can sleep on this warehouse floor. There's no bathroom, but
per se.
I'd rather sleep in the van, I think. But it's fun. I mean, we've had some really wild experiences together, and it's like the stuff you always remember.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We stay in hotel rooms sometimes, but it's kind of boring. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, hotel rooms are great, and maybe everybody gets a bed to sleep in,
Right.
which is
Right.
nice. But the stories that come from the road
Yeah.
are
I bet.
Are
That's
special.
really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
sweet.
I've always thought like touring with the band would be so cool. So I mean, we'd follow you guys' progress, obviously, and it looks like it's a really good time. And I mean, you guys get to really. I mean, so how do you like plan your gigs? Like, how do you determine who you're going to perform in front of and things like that?
A lot of it is, well, over the years, first we started out playing largely in Michigan, then we expanded to the Midwest, and we've made our way to most corners of the country by now. And honestly, where we choose to go back to, we try to be strategic. It's like, how can we be most efficient with mileage? And, you can only drive so many hours in a day, so it's just logistics like that. You have to be very smart about that, but then you have to go to the places where the people are really receptive. We have fan bases growing in pockets around the country, like Grand Junction, Colorado, and Ogden, Utah, and Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we just keep going back. Those people really want to keep buying every album that we make and see the band, hear all the new songs, and we've made some really, really great friends.
That's cool.
So just those cities for an example, but yeah.
Eventually, we'll have to get the Skroove van going on tour with the
that'd
Outer
be
Vibe.
cool.
Or just follow you around, video document every second of like a reality TV, like Outer Vibe.
Just like bringing coffee to the world, and coffee and music and cool clothes.
Dude,
That'd be
that
sweet.
That would be a wild trip.
And in the van, we don't have a ton of space. It holds our gear in the back. It holds our luggage in the middle, and there's still seats for 9. But we do make sure we always bring a coffee pot.
No, you gotta have
If
that.
we don't have that,
Game over.
Tour's over.
Yeah.
Coffee pot breaks. Tour's canceled.
Sorry, we had to go
Oh,
home.
yeah. We're playing this show tonight. One guy's got a broken leg. The other guy's got the flu. Coffee pot breaks. Show's
Done.
over. Fuck this shit, we're going home.
I think we can relate to that.
What kind of van is it for everybody listening?
It is a Ford Transit XLT 350 HD
In the family package.
with dual rear tires and an extended high roof.
In adult black, midnight black color, it looks like. Yeah.
yep, gets pretty hot.
That's where
Who
he,
came up with the name?
that's where he
That
gets
is
the
cool-
Vanakin.
yeah.
The
I
black.
did.
The
No,
jet black is where
the
he got the
Sith,
name.
yeah.
He just looks sinister.
It
but,
does, yeah.
but he started from like good, humble roots. But
tried.
now he's
Got turned to the dark side.
Pretty much. We used to pull a trailer, and then we kind of got away from that largely after our first experience in New York City and,
Oh.
Los Angeles.
Oh my
And,
Just
you
the
know,
pain.
Yeah, New York was the big one because Nick is a great driver. He has a CDL
Okay.
commercial driver's
Oh.
license.
You guys can buy
So-
drink in the back. Chauffeur's license.
But and Nick and Noah and our singer Sean take turns driving a lot of the time. But pulling a trailer is certainly a challenge, especially when you can't literally get off the island of Manhattan. Is that what it was? Like we couldn't for the life of us because the tunnel doesn't allow trailers.
Oh.
So that took some time. And then after enough visits to Los Angeles where both the van and the trailer get their separate parking tickets and blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah, they
people
do
don't
not
really-
like vans and trailers in West Hollywood.
You know what? I can imagine.
They will ticket you many times, and they're not cheap.
You might as well just get that's your hotel fee.
Yeah, you pull into LA with a trailer and someone walks out of their house and they go, "What is that?"
Locals only, bro.
Yeah, we've been told that before. Like in Pasadena.
Really?
For real.
I love where this is going. Let's take a quick break. We'll reset our cameras, but we got some good stuff so far, so we'll be right back in a second.
Skroove, 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 Skroove.
And we're back. We lost Nick. He had to go take care of some stuff, and then there were 4.
Yeah, he said he was gonna go fulfill all the Dawn Patrol Coffee by Skroove orders that we got.
Yeah,
so,
he's out of the post.
Yeah.
Nice of him.
He said something about logistics, and then I saw his head perk up, so we sent him out.
You're going to have to make sure he does it and not drink it all.
We'll have to hook you guys up with some Dawn Patrol.
Yeah, we'll
We
hook you
actually
guys
up.
just sold out, so it's on back order. We're getting more in. We'll have to hook you guys
Yeah.
up with a bag, though.
We are avid coffee lovers.
That's good. So do you guys, is a coffee pot important to you guys? What coffee pot you use? Do you French press? How do you guys do it?
Well, when we have the choice, French press is the way to go.
Yeah,
I think we're
that's what we
coffee
love.
snobs. But on the road, we travel with a funny little old-fashioned percolator.
Okay.
Like, it's super easy. You don't need a filter or
Right.
anything, so you just need coffee and then you water and a place to plug it in. We've actually... at shows, you roll into town and it's like 4 o'clock mid-afternoon slump, and we'll set up our merch table and plug in the coffee pot. We're just like crouch in the bar, like pouring ourselves coffee.
On the grind, right? Yeah. Say it, there you go.
Pun.
Sometimes I don't even realize. Cue Family Guy Peter Griffin. So we talked a lot about the music videos and the songs. One thing that I think has always been important, and especially back when albums were more of a thing, but I still think is super prevalent, is artwork, album artwork, cover art. How do you guys go about that? Do you guys have song first, then you have an idea for how you want to represent that, or how does that go?
Usually the song comes first, but sometimes I don't know, sometimes the idea for the art develops early on, and sometimes we just sit there and say, well, what's going to make most sense? And we are fortunate because Sean, the singer, does all that. He's a very good artist, very talented. He does a lot of graphic design, website stuff. So he takes care of our website, and then every time there's an album or a single, he does the artwork.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, we're fortunate.
What's the deal with the butts?
Like 'em.
I have to ask about that.
I don't know. I mean, everybody's
Who
got
doesn't like
one.
a butt? It's relatable.
True. It's
I
true.
think, well, it all started back with the Hoka Hey CD, and that was mine. That's obvious.
You didn't want to use any guys' butts.
But then, then we thought, well, it'd be fun to turn the tables a little bit. So we, the Pink Moon.
Pink Moon one is awesome.
Pink Moon one. Well, I mean,
It's Noah's butt.
it's a moon.
You like it?
We've never actually divulged whose butt that is, have we?
It's
I
a,
don't know.
Never in public, at least.
Is that a trade secret? And, well, Noah's cheeks are getting rosy. So I think we all know the answer.
we'll do a lineup test after the podcast. Hold the elbow artwork next.
But I will say it was really funny when we did the shoot for that because the person was laying. It is somebody in the house that we live in.
Okay.
And they were laying in our yard, and
Oh my
just
God.
on the blanket with their bare butt. We're like, I wonder what the neighbors are thinking right now. Like, if anybody looks out and sees somebody with the camera, like,
Honey, what kind of music are these kids making next door to us? I don't know.
Devil's music.
I don't think we offended anybody too bad though, because our neighbors invited us over for dinner.
Oh,
Which was very
that's
nice
good.
of them.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, the butts thing, I don't know, it's just kind of fun.
It's funny.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
I don't even think I noticed. I think I saw somebody comment. I'm like, oh yeah, like there's some
butt.
yeah, there's some butts.
We're weird and we're funny. We like to have fun, and we just try to not take ourselves too
Oh,
seriously.
That's
That-
good.
that
We
is
we
awesome.
love that. This is a weird question, and I've always wondered because do you guys ever listen to your own music? I've always wondered, do the artists listen to their own music for leisure, not for critique?
Personally, I do not listen to it at all unless I need to get back into the zone. I haven't listened to the song and I need to remember what the tempo is like and remember what the backup vocals sound
for a
like.
practical
Yeah,
purpose.
to practice. But that's just me. I guess I can't really speak for everybody in the band, but
It depends. I guess you say when it's not for critique, and I guess usually
Yeah.
when I do listen, if I pull up Spotify and I'm listening to stuff and I'll hear something I really like, or I'll find an artist, or I'll find a playlist, and then sometimes I'll be like, I wonder sonically how that compares to ours. So I guess it's not for leisure, but
I mean, ask again in 35 years, when we're retired, we're thinking
On the
about
cover of
glory
Rolling
days.
Stones. Yeah.
it's we hear it so much in the recording process, you
I
can't
can't
get away from
imagine.
it. So then I do listen to it when the final product's out. We released Planet 9 yesterday. We have a new single out, and when I saw it was up on Spotify, I was like, yeah, I'm going to listen.
Right. Yeah.
So I gave it a listen. Yeah, we did a pretty good job.
Oh,
that
you
sounds
guys did
good.
a great job. It sounded very good. So
Thank you.
So you guys you're traveling, touring, you're not throwing in the Outer Vibe CD, listening to it in the
No,
van.
but we do swap CDs with other bands
That's
a
cool.
lot,
Oh,
and
okay.
so we support a lot of other artists around the country, and I know they bump ours.
That's
They
sweet.
bump our music, and that's pretty sweet. And we have. He's got the collection.
Yeah,
It's
I've got
gotta
quite
be-
a collection going of a bunch of local guys all over
That's so
the
cool.
the nation. It's
Really?
pretty cool scrapbook of just people
Yeah.
we've met and bands we've played with and
Do you
stuff.
guys stay in touch with bands that you guys meet on the road?
Yeah.
Do you?
We have a few bands that are really good friends of ours. There's these guys named Iron Vessel in Nashville. There's a band called Zoloft in Grand Junction, Colorado. There's
M. Crane in Tucson, Arizona.
Okay.
a guy named Super Bubble in Salt Lake City. And, these are all people you could probably Google and find right away. But yeah, and a lot of bands like the Zoloft guys, they were nice enough. They'll let us crash on their couch, and then
Oh, that is sweet.
we even had a date there where we flew out from Colorado and we flew back into Colorado a few days later, and they came and picked us up in our van, and they had washed it and everything.
Oh,
They're
nice.
They hook us up, man. People are really good to us. That's a big part of the reason we're able to stay on the road and keep doing what we do.
Yeah, in any chance, I mean, we're on the road so much, but there's been a couple times where we've hosted bands too. I mean, especially
Yeah.
being in Nashville now, we have a lot more friends traveling through Nashville than they do travel through Grand Rapids. I
Right.
mean, we hosted a band here once. that was coming through town. They had the same booking agent as us, and we're like, "Come stay here. Don't sleep in your van." Like,
Right.
We
And
know.
then,
Yeah, like
right.
we know how that is, right?
yeah,
That's
and
what-
then in Nashville, we're friends with a band called Jay and the Nines out of Brooklyn, New York. So they rolled through Nashville once, and we're like, "Yes, please stay." And we stayed with them when we were in Brooklyn. So just always trying to return the favor.
That's sweet. So on the topic of other bands, who do you guys listen to? I mean, what's some inspiration, like musical inspiration for you guys?
That is forever changing. Let's see. I know I can probably say all of us are trying to listen to new music a lot. Some of us lately I've been digging actually into older records.
Okay.
But I always like to listen to new stuff because it inspires me. Newer things, I have been actually really into Katie Herzig.
Okay.
Because she lives in Nashville. Turns out she was one of our neighbors.
Oh, wow.
And she's a great artist. I really look up to her. She's talented, and she does a lot of production for other bands.
Okay.
And she's releasing a new album soon. So I like Katie. And older stuff, I recently have been digging into Joni Mitchell because I've been trying to sing more.
Okay.
So trying to find females who can inspire me. It's definitely not my primary thing.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And we've all been writing lyrics more lately. And Joni Mitchell, the Blue album is probably my favorite right now.
Okay.
And Simon and Garfunkel, Bookends. I just listened to that and I'm like, dang, I need to get better at songwriting.
yeah, those guys are awesome for sure.
Yeah, I love this topic. I mean, I play music because I love listening to music,
Right.
and I think I was talking about this the other day, how it's kind of interesting sometimes how like an artist that you will think is like very interesting, like maybe their story is very interesting. Like for one example, like Kendrick Lamar is, to me is like a really interesting person, and the art that he creates, like To Pimp a Butterfly, I think was like an amazing piece of art and such a cool story, and it gives you perspective changes, and it's very challenging for you to think about and stuff. And then it's not necessarily an album you listen to like for pleasure. Like To Pimp a Butterfly is like challenging for your brain, and it's not necessarily like easy listening. But so sometimes I like to talk about the difference between like liking something artistically and actually liking the action of listening to that music.
Okay.
So like there are challenging bands that are some of my favorite, like Death Grips, and then you put that on and it's like, man, I'm gonna get angry. I need to go running to get rid of some of this energy. I need to like punch walls or something. And it's like stuff you can't really listen to every day, but
Right.
I mean it's still interesting. And then there are other bands like I've been listening to a lot of Flying Lotus lately, and like a lot of EDM, where to me it's all about the sonics, it's all about this, and like Tribe Called Quest and stuff. It's like this is just really pleasant to listen to. I love the sounds. I love, even though I've listened to it so many times, it's just still feels good. It just makes you feel a certain way. And
That's
so.
right.
Do you guys hear something you're like, oh, I really like that, let's try and mimic that and like use that in this song?
Sometimes, yeah, like, oh, that's a cool sound. I wonder how they got that.
Right,
Or
yeah.
like it'd be cool to have a song at that tempo with that kind of beat. Yeah, that grooves, like for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of St. Vincent right now too.
Okay,
She just
yeah.
released a new album. She's touring, and I really admire her. She's bold.
That's good. I mean, that's cool. I always like to hear like where inspiration draws from.
For sure.
What do they say? The good artists borrow and the great artists steal.
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
The other day I put in the last time we were driving up here from Nashville, I was listening to Mesmerize by System of a Down. I'm like, man, such a good album. Like, our taste is all over the place. And then I studied classical music, so I've got
really?
a whole playlist full of trumpet concertos.
Which, like, that's something me and Tyler really love about your guys' music and your style
I was
is that
just gonna
trumpet.
segue in. I was
It's like,
just gonna
that's
bring
so
that up.
cool. Like, not a lot of bands nowadays really have that kind of classical, that trumpet sound in there.
I think that is a huge, like, when I like watch you guys perform, you guys obviously vibe so well. We talked about that, but that's just something. We go to a lot of smaller concerts, a lot of bigger concerts, and that's something we almost never see. It's so distinct to the genre related to the music you play. I think it's awesome. I think that's such a unique like X factor that really kind of distinguishes you guys.
Yeah, we have a little joke in the band where it's the 5 of us and the 4 guys and the girl, and she brings a lot of special element to the band, and we like to joke that without Lisa in our band, we're just the motherfuckers. We're just like four more guys playing music, nothing special about it, just some motherfuckers. And, with Lisa, we're the outer vibes.
So like she didn't make it to the show. All right, guys.
Exactly.
That's great.
I don't know. I don't bring that much class though, because I am the loudest belcher. I
Just
kill.
enough to get us there.
Gladly claim that title, right?
I mean, I do tour with 4 guys.
Right. Yeah.
Respect, right? Yeah.
So you guys are from Grand Rapids, and now you guys live in Nashville. So kind of how did that come about, and what's that journey been like for you guys?
Yeah, we decided to move to Nashville a little over a year ago for a publishing deal. We went down and they basically paid us in advance to write songs for them all year, and we moved into a house, all of us together. There were 9 of us living there, 9 and a dog for a while, and yeah, we spent the past year writing songs that we're now like pulling from and trying to record the best ones. And we spent a lot of time writing with local songwriters in Nashville and working in a studio there. And we moved down because we were just looking for more opportunity. Here in West Michigan, there's a great music scene, but there aren't necessarily the industry foundation that you need to take that leap. And there in Nashville, it's kind of like you go down the street to the drum shop and you run into John Mayer's live drummer, and there's the guy from Journey, or not, one of those bands.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was very, very kind of Noah's family. He has an aunt and uncle who live in Nashville, and the first time ever we went as a band, they let us crash on their couches and just bum around the town. They showed us a couple of their favorite spots, like Pinewood Social Club. I don't know. And then they took us out to a couple shows, like at the Mercy Lounge. So that was really helpful. It allowed us to, I guess, get a feel for the city. And we were like, seems like a place that we should probably be spending some time.
Right.
So, yeah, it's been really great. And one thing that we did for the publisher a lot is we did a lot of co-writing with other songwriters, which is fun. It's a good way to just make some friends, meet some new people. And the song Planet 9 that we just released, we co-wrote with a friend named Billy Livesey.
Okay.
He became pretty much one of our best buds in Nashville. He's
a
like,
good bloke there. Goes over to the UK. He's got just the slightest bit of the accent. That's starting to rub off a little bit on us. It's very nice.
Yeah, he's kind of like our Nashville dad. Just collective. He's a really great guy. A lot of fun. So it's been inspiring to co-write with other people, like just learning a lot. You can always grow yourself. And the bar is really high there. Like you can go to any club any night of the week, and there's going to be a great show. The musicians are phenomenal.
Do you guys check out like the local music scene down there? Do you guys go out? And
we try to.
Do you?
Yep, it's important. I think that's how we met. Noah mentioned our friends Iron Vessel. One of the first shows we played in town, which was at the High Watt. They were on the bill, and they befriended us. They're really nice, friendly guys, and they're like, "Yeah, man, come on, just come along,
Yeah.
be our friends."
Right.
And they do things like have Friendsgiving.
Okay,
dinners,
cool,
like,
cool.
Not just at Thanksgiving time.
Year round.
Quarterly.
But they're always trying to pull together the community, and just they really strive for friendship, and I think that's important.
That's cool.
For sure. And that's cool. I mean, obviously, just like any business or industry, people are kind of always out to, be the best and cut people's throats and stuff like that. But like to make friends and the music industry being able to collab and work with people and kind of use inspiration
In a real way.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, and we always say, a music scene is really only as strong as the bands that are within it, and the friendships amongst the bands. Like, there's really no need for competition.
Right.
It's just all about like if everybody can just kill it together and
Right.
really love music and show that and provide a good show for people and a good positive experience. Everybody wins.
Right, benefits everyone. Yeah, for sure. So here's a question. If you guys could collab with anybody, who would it be?
St. Vincent.
Probably Anderson .Paak.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the
Paul
short
McCartney.
answer. Or
Paul McCartney.
or a Tribe Called
You
Quest.
get some views with that one, right? You get some listens if you.
I'm aiming high.
I'll never forget when like Rihanna, Kanye West, and Paul McCartney
Oh
came
my
out with
God.
4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I saw somebody comment
comment
on the internet. I was like, "Oh, that's really cool that Rihanna and Kanye West did a song with this old white guy to like, try and make him famous."
And I'm like, then they were serious.
Oh man, we're doomed. You know, we were talking a little bit about how we come up with stupid music video ideas, right? So we have this one music video idea where, you know, we've got the studio here. We all meet here for rehearsal all the time. And one day the camera's following Wonder into the studio, and he comes into the live room to start rehearsal like normal. And it turns out that Paul McCartney's here just playing bass for him. He's been replaced by Paul McCartney. And he's playing bass, and he's just like, "What's going on, guys?" and then after that, he goes home. You know, he goes about his day or whatever, and he goes home and goes back to his bedroom, you know, with his girlfriend's in bed sleeping, and Paul's in there with her.
We gotta get a hold of Paul.
Yeah, if you're listening, Paul, we got a pretty fun idea for you.
That would be. What's that? I remember. I don't know if it's probably not true, but like reading. Somebody like it was an interview with the Beatles and like, oh, so is like Ringo one of the best drummers in the world? He goes, Ringo's not even the best drummer in the band. Like Paul was so like, yeah, he could out drum Ringo. You know?
I do have to say the Beatles are probably one of my biggest influences too.
Really?
Like those
Totally.
guys, like so eclectic. And I always think about like all the technology that's available nowadays with musical instruments. I mean, we have a lot of like just normal instruments like a drum kit. We don't have electronic drums, although we used to. I mean, there's so many things that you can like delve into and learn, and I have so much equipment that's smarter than I am, and it's kind of embarrassing. But I always think to myself, like, sometimes I'm like, do I really want to dig into this? Like, maybe I'll just play a piano, like always.
Right.
My normal instruments. But then I'm like, if the Beatles were making music today, I think they would take full advantage of everything like Ableton
Super
and like
interesting, yeah.
just all the available resources. Like those guys were so innovative for the time, and I think if they were still a band and they were just in the studio all the time, they would be cranking out stuff that's just unbelievable. I mean, as tempting as it is to just keep doing what I've always been doing, I know it's very important to always try to learn and teach yourself to grow and push yourself. And I think those guys have been very inspiring for that reason.
And they have a really interesting story too. Like we were delving into some of their stuff, and I think it was Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Outliers. They talk about how like all the gigs that they played, and like they used to perform in like strip clubs and stuff like that, and like they would just take a gig anywhere they could. Talking about like the 10,000 hours.
Yeah, by the time they came
Yeah.
to America, they'd
Hamburg.
already played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like sleeping in the venue in the back, and they would just play like 5 days a week, like 8 hours a
Right,
day or
yeah.
something like that. It's like
Wild.
no wonder they're the best band in the world.
Right.
Playing covers,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just like 8-hour days. I think I read somewhere. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just insane.
Yep.
And then they like wore leather clothes and hung them up to dry because they were so sweaty.
Did they?
You got to do what you got to do.
So
you
that's
know?
how leather became into rock and roll.
But it's funny because that's before like they're the Beatles that had the matching haircuts
Right.
In
and
the suits, the gray
yeah, their
suits and-
manager I think made them do that, and it worked. Like
That's
Yeah.
super interesting.
I don't know, it's very interesting. Like their career was affected a lot by their manager. Anyway,
The Beatles.
We
There's some
digress.
Beatles for you. Yeah.
What do you guys love most about the Outer Vibe? Like being in a band and kind of like this is you guys' full-time job. I'm sure this has been like a dream since you guys were little. What do you guys love most about it?
I love just fitting into a group and actually learning like what people are truly like learning the true dynamics of like other people, and for better or worse, having to be in the same atmosphere all the time. And I think I've learned a ton about other people and how not necessarily like everything that makes me tick isn't necessarily the same as what makes somebody else tick, and you aren't necessarily forced to learn those things unless you are around people enough. And you could easily go your whole life in your own your own vehicle or whatever, kind of keeping your head down and like not really learning much about other people around you. And
yeah, I think it's pretty fun to have a job, I guess is what it is. It's pretty fun that it's always different. I mean, yeah, we go on tour. It's like we've done that before, but every show's always different. It always changes. The audience is always different. The set list is always different. Our job is far from boring.
Yeah.
It's very it's fun. It's ever changing. It's always evolving. It's I don't know. And then, I mean, Noah mentioned the interpersonal type of stuff. And I think we, as a group, everybody's chosen to just, that's what we do. We're all here to do it. And and the thing about like what makes me tick isn't what makes other people tick. Like everybody's got different strengths to contribute, and everybody's got different weaknesses. And just, I think we've all, just as people, like learning how to accept even, you know, I feel like we've all grown so much in that area.
Right.
Also, just you know, what we do is sort of uncharted territory. Like our future is, like, what is it? I'm not really sure. We're going to be the ones that build it. I guess I don't think I could ever work in an environment where I knew what was going to be happening for the next few years or whatever. The same old. So just being able to kind of pioneer your own life, I think, is a big part of the reason. We're an independent band. We don't have a record label. We're our own boss, and you know, we're like an egalitarian sort of group too. So nobody is the dictator of the Outer Vibe. We all sort of control our own destiny in a way, as much as any human being can. Yeah.
And we find, I mean, sorry to interrupt, but we find that with like what we're doing is there's a million ways to skin a cat. Yep. And like you guys have to find your own path to success. And there's obviously so many bands that have been successful, but like you can't follow their path exactly. And you guys are like making this up as you go and figuring out what works out best for you.
Can't be the Beatles. The Beatles were already the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Exactly.
I mean, the haircuts would be cool, but
Actually, yeah, can we get that for a show?
That would be really funny.
That would be hilarious. What's it? Okay, so like just you mentioned a show, and I think a lot of people wondered like, what's it like performing in front of like the crowds you guys do? I mean, you guys get some pretty good sized shows. What's that like? What do you?
There's nothing like it. I think when you get up on stage and there's just a crowd of people just loving your music, like we really feed off the energy of a crowd. So, and we love to give it back. I mean, it's just a give and take of positive energy, and that's the most fun for us. And you know, sometimes we play shows for more intimate crowds, or you know, maybe a theater setting or something where people aren't really dancing.
Right.
For example, I picture the Radio Room in Grand Junction. Like it's very like seats. It's kind of like in an old-fashioned theater, and it's not the place where there's going to be a mosh pit or you know, listening room style thing. Or like we've done some events in Akron for the Summit radio station. They've been very good to us, and listening room events are equally as fun because even if people are just sitting and listening, and you can tell they're very much enjoying it and listening to the music and the words, the lyrics, and everything. And that's, I don't know, it like we're making art and they're appreciating it.
Right.
And nothing really beats that feeling, I think.
yeah, it's all about, like she mentioned, the give and take between us and the audience. Like there would be really no point for us to go play a show if there were no audience. So it's all about we're out there hoping to make somebody's day better. And when you get those shows that are where you get an audience, I mean, even if it's 15 people that are into it and dancing and like looking you in the eye and like that's what it's all about. That then you give energy, they give it back more, then you give it back more, and it becomes something better than any like we could achieve on our own.
So what's like? Cause I mean, what are nerves like? I mean, at this point, do you guys? I mean, like not necessarily like jitters. I'm sure like you get like excited, but like nerves. Are you guys like super nervous before you perform, or I mean, what?
Depends on the show.
Yeah,
Actually, believe it or not, this morning before we went on the news, I was like, oh God. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. That was actually mostly my problem. We like ran in and they're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, the news is like almost one of the weirdest things because you're there in a room with cameras and you know a bunch of people are watching, but you can't see what they're doing.
Right.
You can't feed off their.
But
you know.
no, it's fun. And I think, I don't know. Bigger shows, sometimes I get a little bit nervous, but really it's more more about the excitement. Like you said, it's just jitters. I think just like we all like to sometimes do jumping jacks and cartwheels and just get ourselves psyched. Sometimes you just need to break a sweat before you go out and you feel better. Like I know pretty much any nerves I ever feel has in the past been from lack of maybe preparedness. It's like just the more you can really be in the zone and on your A game and focused in the moment, it all goes away.
And yeah, those like butterflies before going on stage. At this point, I welcome those. Like those are like, yes, that's totally right. Then if that's how I'm feeling, this is exactly what I should be doing. So
like I guess another thing I think like I'm interested to hear about, and some other people might want to know, like, do you guys have like individual, more or less, like a pre-show ritual, something you do to prep yourself to go on stage and perform in front of all these people?
yeah, I usually put on some like really badass gangster rap and then like walk around and like do this sort of stuff, like punching and like walking down the street, like maybe got a little pep in my step, trying to get a little sheen and sweat going before I go on stage. And then we actually do have this group ritual we do where we all get together like sort of like a soccer team, and we put our hands in the middle and say, let's make this the best show ever, guys. Let's give it all we got. And it used to be called a Woe Bundy, like from what is it, Full House or Married with Children. It used to be called a Woe Bundy, but we recently changed it to a Jim Carrey. So if you guys want to bring some community to your group of friends, just come in and say, "Come on, guys, let's do a Jim Carrey real quick."
Why not? So yeah, that might evolve again someday, but who knows?
Right now, it's Jim.
It's the Jim Carrey. So yeah, it's our pre-show ritual.
Do you have a pre-show ritual just for yourself?
Like Noah's gangster rap and air punching.
I also do warm up like with drumsticks a little bit too. Like, but it's mostly the punching and the gangster.
Have you ever considered the School of Rock, like spare drumsticks?
Love that. I gotta get holsters made or something.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just run around and break a sweat, make sure I'm warmed up.
Kind
I
of
guess
like a boxer going in.
make
going
fart noises on my
bit.
trumpet. I mean, that's what I'm best at, really. So maybe chug a beer.
Yeah.
Shotgun.
tip up,
One beer, never two.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's take a quick break real quick, and we can reset this equipment. Take a commercial break. Dump Patrol Coffee by Skroove.
We'll be right.
And we're back. We just made a whole another pot of Dawn Patrol.
Got the jitters
Shaking
going.
off the walls right now.
That's right.
We actually are going to write a song right now, real quick. We're going to write a song.
Let's do it. It sounds really good. Yeah,
I can play the triangle. I can play the hell out of a triangle.
Electric triangle.
Really
Give me the tambourine. One question. What is the dream for the Outer Vibe? Like, what is the end game, the end goal? What does that look like for you guys? She could look like 30 years in the future and be like, yeah,
I think,
that was awesome.
honestly, just doing what we get to do and making a living doing it, bringing our music to people and helping somebody have a good day, like making people feel like a better person, just being in a better place. We really strive for the positivity thing. I think we're just really connecting, really trying to bring our music to the world, get like the message, and I people ask what success is, and I don't know what success is. It's different for everybody. So my definition of success is probably even different than Noah's, but I don't know. We all join together and we all have to make music. Like that's just what it is for us. We make music and it's in our souls, and just making it and getting to share it with people is the best thing in the world for me.
Yeah, I feel like what we're doing right now with the Outer Vibe is sort of just building our platform that we can sort of, our soapbox, so to say, that we can stand on and sort of then give our message to the world. So I guess in 30 years, you would hope that soapbox is pretty efficiently built and you would be able to have your voice that you could then use to, I mean, personally, I just think it's about the human condition. Like, why are we here? Why are we compelled to do this music thing when you could go get a job and a lot of like the ideas or motives for the Outer Vibe is it's so almost like a support group. It's almost like Alcoholics Anonymous. We're not alcoholics, but it's all like we're all in this thing because we look forward at our lives and say, well, we really have to do something that means something, and having the other people around you for support and just encouragement. It's like it's a club of people that are all just saying, come on guys, let's keep going forward, let's keep never stop for nothing. We gotta, like, what's the other option, right. And just being there for one another is a big thing. And I think eventually bringing just helping people appreciate their lives, I think,
Yeah.
is a big part of it, through songs and through just showing people that you can do what you want to do. Like, showing somebody you don't have to accept the standard grind, go get an office cubicle and watch your seconds, go down the drain your whole life. You can actually get out there and do something that would truly bring you and others joy. I think that's the biggest thing for us.
I've got to get a little kooky here, but I've been into mindfulness lately. I guess it's not kooky, but you know what I'm going to say might sound kooky to some, but I don't really give a shit.
That's what we're here for.
So mindfulness and meditation and just learning how to be present and appreciate everything that you have, that's been huge for me. Like not worrying about yesterday, not worrying about next week, any of that, just being in the moment right now. And I think what's good about that is that, where was I going with that? I think empathy comes out of that, like just shared experiences and, all of us doing this together and maybe being able to, maybe we'll have that song one day that just reaches people and they're like, man, I really get that. Like I've been there. I think that's been something that's big for me lately, in my own practices with songwriting and lyrics, and just like, how can I really connect with people? I think that's important.
That's good. I was gonna ask it about even morning routines, rituals, and meditation, because I think mindfulness, self-awareness, empathy, all those things are super important for being happy with yourselves, which internally or in turn projects onto others. So that is super important. I think that is if you want to be happy and successful, it's important.
And I think the best songs, I think, are ones that you can look at and say, wow, that person just said exactly how I was feeling, but I couldn't have possibly said it like they said it. So just trying to do that for people, giving them the language to understand their own lives and live, through the music. And also, I think that the Skroove choose happy, that could easily be our motto as well.
Hey,
it could
love
choose
that.
happy could easily be the motto for the band, I think.
Well, it's, kind of like word for word almost what Noah said. That's like why we started Skroove, is to show people that you can inspire people. Like, we're just two average guys doing what we love. Like, you don't have to go get that 9 to 5. Why would you work your entire life at a job you hate? Like, 40 years of your life, like that is your life.
You don't have to sacrifice the only important thing that is in your life, which is your time here.
Why
the experiences you get to get.
College, and this is what we do full time. It's a dream come true, and that's like an end goal for us. We want to be enablers for other people. Like if young kids want to get involved, and they're talented, want to become like professional athletes, skateboarders. We can start like doing sponsorships and helping them get helping enable people to reach their peak,
Find themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Live up their craft. Yeah.
So it's awesome to hear you guys have the same mindset, because obviously it's super rare because not a lot of people are really pursuing their passion,
Yeah,
and to
and
hear
it's
that
Scary.
It's tough because
it is.
it's
a
scary.
tough road, because it is unpaved and nobody's doing it, and
Yeah, it's
like
many
we're
things.
making this up as we go,
Right.
but that's the beautiful part about it
It
as
is.
well. Like
Yep.
your entire future is unwritten.
And it's funny how different generations, I think, react to each other. So for example, I've just seen my dad be a small business owner, insurance agency, and things, and he's retired now. But it's like I know that getting up for year after year after year after year, same job, and my parents take vacations because they need to get away from the grind. And for us, like I guess I have a hard time taking a break because I feel like I'm not even working.
Yeah.
But it's just completely different. So I feel like we're millennials, and think what you want about that. I guess people seem to like to bicker over
Right.
the generational thing, but I don't know. I think we are all much more inspired to be this way because we've seen our parents or people of
For sure.
the baby boomers generation or things like that maybe seem unhappy, and we're like, well, what's the price of happiness? Really, what do you want to do with your life? Like you said, your time here, it's limited, it's not forever, so let's enjoy what we do.
For sure. Exactly. Like, this doesn't feel like work. This is work for
I
us.
love
Like,
this.
we're out here in Grand Rapids for a couple days
just for this
to
is
come
the
do a
only reason why
podcast with
we're
you
here.
guys,
Oh,
and we
cool
have
stuff.
to we have to go see you guys' show tomorrow, right? Like, that's
Oh,
work
man.
for us, right? Like, we'll get some pictures of it. Like, that's awesome, right?
Now we have
like,
friends coming out to see you guys that haven't
Yeah.
seen you, and
Now we
we're-
get to
we're
hang out.
excited to be like,
Awesome.
hey, check, this is a great band, and
And everybody has a good day.
yeah, for
exactly.
sure. So it's cool. It's cool to hear you guys say that, and
Well, and like I said to Noah too earlier, before we started, like your guys' song when I was still in school, like "Sweet to the Rhine," when that came out, I listened to that probably every morning in the shower. Like that was how I started my day, and that just like whatever reason I don't really know, like it just like the lyrics and the music all came together, and it did it for me. It got me primed, and like I was ready to go out and start my day because I didn't love going and sitting in a classroom, but it's what I was doing. And I was still doing the business at the time, obviously, but that song got me like, primed, and that was part of my ritual. So if you have at least one person,
so we've succeeded. Then we've done it.
Yeah.
It's just one person.
So yeah, I think that your guys' music has a very positive effect on people. I mean, you talked about some music that you listen to, like you need to go in a room and before you break something. And like your guys' music, I mean, although it conveys a lot of different messages, it's very uplifting and motivating and high positive energy, which I think is like priceless.
I mean, as cliche as it is, I mean, it's just kind of just good vibe music. It really is, It's just happy, it's fun.
Yeah, and it means everything in the world to me, and I feel like we hear it more and more lately. Like last time we were in Chicago, somebody came up and said, "Man, I was having the worst day. I was having such a downer of a day, and then I came to this show, and you guys turned my day around."
That's awesome.
Like we get told that almost on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like, well, I guess we're doing something right.
Do you guys? I mean, you say you're practicing mindfulness. Do you guys enjoy that, or do you guys take the time to really let that sink in?
I try to.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
It's hard to make the time for it, but it's well worth it. And I notice the changes in myself, I think, and I feel better. I feel more focused. I feel like I can just do what I'm supposed to do.
That's cool. Any advice for young musicians?
Practice a lot. It takes time and it takes patience, and it will not necessarily come easily, but stick to it. Work a little bit every day at it. Keep doing it. Take lessons if you can, and challenge yourself. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I would just say keep on trucking, keep on going, and don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something. That's really it.
Great advice.
And I believe in you, so you should believe in yourself.
We're gonna make a little poster.
It is important to believe in yourself.
Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
another big one.
Yeah.
That can be very hard sometimes.
Yep.
It's easy to get discouraged, but it happens to everybody. So,
What advice would you give somebody?
I mean, you really need to bet on your strengths and things that you're passionate about, and I think trust your instincts more than anything.
That's a good one.
I think like instinct, like when you know something's wrong or you know something's right, it almost always is, and sometimes people fight that for whatever reason. So trust your instinct, and it usually will take you along the correct path, and just never give up. If you want to do something, you can do it.
Yeah, and I'd agree with that. I mean, I'm a big gut feeling guy, and like we're business guys, so like you should. Obviously, you're doing it to make money and all that stuff. But
the money's to supply to keep
so you can do it.
Right, like statistically, like a lot of stuff that we do. I mean, just even starting a clothing brand. I mean, how many of those succeed? Right, like follow your gut instinct. Like it's hardly ever wrong.
Right.
Do that and just don't give up, don't quit, just keep doing it. It's like you always see that picture on the internet, the guy that stops mining, he's like that close to the diamond. You'd never know like how close you are to like breaking it or making it. And
right, you just got to keep pushing, and like empathy and self-awareness I think can go a long way. Trying to practice those things and being aware of other people and being self-aware is one of like the most priceless things that you can have. So like meditation, mindfulness, just understanding yourself, and that helps you understand other people.
And something that I got to work on too, but just enjoy the journey.
That's,
I mean, like we're always like forward looking and like want to do the next thing and be
You can always be better.
right.
Because we're so hungry.
And always trying to improve. But I kind of have a little quote that I say is like, I'm at peace with myself, but I'm always trying to progress. You have to live in the moment, and you have to enjoy the journey, because that's why we do this. Like, yeah, to have the biggest brand in the world is going to be awesome one day, but like you have to enjoy the whole process of getting there.
Yep.
So just enjoy the process.
Look on the early days fondly, like us in our couch surfing.
Yeah.
It's a riot.
Right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And that's a cool thing. Like we've been doing the 60 seconds of Skroove, the daily video for what episode are we on?
535.
So like 535 days straight. So we can like look back and see what we were doing every day for like the last 535 days. Like it's like how wild is that? It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be better than even like the money at the end of the
Oh,
day.
yeah,
That's
for
gonna be what you're
sure.
gonna be like, yeah.
It's the journal of our life.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, this is awesome, guys. I was already stoked for the show. Now I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm fired up. I'm gonna listen to some Sweet to the Rhine.
Yeah.
Some, Shine Like a Diamond on the way home here. So check out their new single. If you can get them in, how many concerts do you have while you're here in Michigan?
Just 2 actually for the rest of the year. So
And this podcast will be out afterwards. So
Right.
sorry guys.
2018, keep an eye out.
So that way, you just have to follow them on Spotify because you're not going to be able to catch them while they're here in Michigan. Get them on YouTube. Check out their music videos. You guys-
Instagram.
Apple Music, Instagram. Give them a like, follow, share, subscribe. All that stuff goes a really long way.
It all helps us out a lot. Every single person.
Yep, absolutely. Well, thanks a lot,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you guys. Thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thanks a lot for
Super
having us.
fun.
For sure. Awesome.
Remember to choose happy.
That's right.
Smart.
Dog Patrol, coffee by Skroove.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. All episodes of What's Your Skroove are available on our website, www.skrooveko.com. Be sure to subscribe and leave a rating. And as always, there are free stickers available at skrooveko.com. We'll see you guys next time.